Yeah, and it's been good. All right, we're live. Hi, young gun.
Hi, gang.
Yay.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. So, uh, usually, I invite people to introduce themselves about who they are, what they have done for Yan thing, and how or we met. So in a briefly, yeah, like a minute or what? Brendan left again. So, so could we start from Joyce, please?
Hi.
Hi, hi,
Hi, Joyce. Hello.
hi.
So I think I met you first, Ching, in Manchester at the uh, office, the campaign office, when Evelyn was coming in that day. I think
Yeah,
And we
I
met at
think
the
so.
airport.
Yeah.
I met Jack the first time New Year's Eve in Manchester. You and Laura.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I first met Andrew. That's when I
Right,
first went to see him.
Wow.
That's when I
right,
was hooked. I
right.
got his book, and
Yeah.
then a couple days later, the book.
You
Well,
again.
I have that book.
Wow, you really studied it.
I studied it,
With
flagged it, yeah,
stickers.
take notes, yeah, did my homework.
Awesome.
So, and then
Yeah.
I seen him a few more times. I seen Andrew a few more times, but like I told Jack, I think I had a little lady crush going on. Evelyn, I loved Evelyn. I was very starstruck when I met her. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she was
She's
awesome.
lovely. And how do you know rest of the people? Do you know Ed? Do you know Jack? Of course.
I met Ed. I think I met you the first time at the caucus, and
Yeah.
I just like saying that word. So, but yeah, that was the caucus at the caucuses. That's more than one. It's
Wow.
plural. And Mellow Groves, we went right Nashua when we went canvassing. Me, you, and Will. That was fun.
Oh,
Wash your hand, ba, please. Sorry,
What? Oh, yeah.
I'm a hand washer patrol of the house. I have to
Hand,
ask.
wash your hands.
Yeah.
I made homemade hand sanitizer yesterday. Finally got some alcohol.
my
Yeah.
knuckles are all chapped.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So
Lotion, hand.
yeah. So Ed, tell us about a little bit about yourself and your
Sure,
yanning.
sure.
You're a
Uh,
major yanner.
so basically, I've been involved with politics here in New Hampshire since I moved here about 4 years ago. Uh, moved here after living up and down the East Coast, living in different communities, cities as large as 300,000, towns as small as 3,000. I really wanted to take that experience and settle down and plant roots. So I settled in the hills of Somersworth, the smallest city in New Hampshire, about 13,000. Just got involved with different nonprofits, started serving on the Historic District Commission. Um, really fell in love with the community, felt a sense of pride with the community, and it turned out that one of the city councilors wasn't going to be running. So I stepped up to serve on city council. I won that race and have stayed involved helping elect other young progressive folks and old. My friend's father ran for Congress, Lincoln Soldati. I've got one of his pins right here, Lincoln Soldati for Congress. So I've stayed involved doing fundraising, all sorts of different events, organizing here in New Hampshire, and started paying attention to the presidential race back around when John Delaney announced. He came to, he spoke, he was the key speaker at a New Hampshire Democratic Party state dinner. So then I met him shortly after at the Granite Slate Awards. Julian Castro was the keynote speaker. So I've been watching, paying attention, and when I was thinking about who I wanted to, support in the presidential election, I thought about someone that could really unify people, someone that presented a a strong message to really, move things forward. regardless of party politics. And then I started to hear about Andrew, started to hear about his vision for the country, and then it was time for me to run again. I decided to run for the school board this time around. I won that election. Didn't endorse anyone in the presidential before that. I was just sort of meeting people, sort of hearing everyone out, and then things started to be a little bit more serious, and started to see some of the people that the campaign was putting in place, Steve Marchand and Christina Snell, some of the leadership in place here in New Hampshire, and decided to go all in. Left my insurance job that I've been working at for 4 years to go work for the campaign. And that's sort of my story.
Thank you. Bravo. Brendan, you want to say something?
Yeah. So first off, I apologize for my camera flickering on and off. Anybody that worked with me on the campaign knows that sometimes technology and I don't necessarily get along. So it's pretty atypical. Can you remind me again of the prompts here? So we're just kind of introducing ourselves, giving us. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So
right now we're doing self-introduction.
Okay, great. Yeah. So my name is Brandon Lemay. I usually just go by my last name, Lemay.
Lemay.
Yes. And so I was previously working at an Amazon company named PillPack before the Yang campaign, and before I revitalized my career in politics. And part of what I did was automating jobs away from pharmacists by using these machines that dispense medicine and then software that would analyze what was in the packets that you were getting. And it was really, really cool, the technology that we were using. And the software was actually self-learning, which amazed me. But it reduced the amount of pharmacists, which, if you don't know, is an 8-year degree. So they're straight up doctors who were potentially getting, and Jack, Amazon did buy PillPack out. And so it was really interesting to me, if a pharmacist with a medical degree could potentially get their job automated away, who is safe? So that's why the Yang campaign was really appealing to me. And that's why I decided to work on his campaign rather than go back to that job with 40 hours a week and a 401k. And as of right now, just been social distancing. Like many Americans right now, I am looking for work. So just braving this this pandemic, I should say. Just like the rest of the country here. I've been using this time a lot, basically to just kind of unwind. I mean, working 90 hours a week on a campaign is pretty difficult. As a lot of you worked really hard too. I'm sure you can empathize with that. And part of the reason why I was actually having audio issues is because I've been working on recording some music, some loops, and some beats just to pass the time away. So I'm just trying to fill my time with hobbies.
You're a musician too.
Yeah. I feel like it's a pretty common theme.
What do you play?
Oh, you are, Brandon? I didn't know that. What?
Yeah.
Musicians.
So I play guitar.
Great.
And then back in high school, I was in my chamber choir as a tenor. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Wow. Okay.
I didn't know that.
I'm gonna pick on you later.
Okay, great. I love it.
We're musicians. I know Joyce plays the bass. I know Ed can sing really well.
Look at that. We pretty much got a band
now
right
we have
here.
a guitar player.
Yeah.
We just need percussion, maybe some keyboards.
Awesome. I don't know about Jack, but I'll pick on you later too.
He can pick something up.
The tambourine.
Okay,
I can do tambourine.
so our friend named Ruby actually is not Ruby, but tell me your name again. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I have hard time pronounce well.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, so Ruby Alto is what I use on Facebook, but my real name is Milagros Vitor Butson. which is ironically what I use my real name on Twitter, which is probably should be the other way around. But anyway, so my Yang story. So my family relocated from Wisconsin three years ago, and this summer I was able to arrange for time for my family to go back to Wisconsin so my kids could be with their cousins. And I worked remotely for about 2 months. And during that time, I was staying at my brother's place, and he had mentioned like the probably around Christmas. So this was the previous Christmas, not last Christmas, but the one before. That there was this guy who's Asian, running for president. He wants to give $1,000 to everyone, and I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then over the summer, I was at his place, and he's like, no, you really gotta check out this, this Andrew Yang guy, and he starts like, pulling up clips on YouTube, and he knows that I have a very addictive personality. So once I start going down a tunnel or one direction, it's like basically I'm all in. So he, we're just watching clips on YouTube, like little short ones. And he's like, no, you really got to watch, it's like one of his in-depth interviews. And I didn't even know who Ben Shapiro was. But I watched that interview, and then after that, I think it was like about a week where it was really bad because I was supposed to be working, but I would just stay up all night just watching all these clips of Yang.
You sound like me.
Okay, so then we got back home like in August, and in September I met Yang at in Nashua. At the flight center. So I ended up, so I saw him for the first time, I think, end of September at Harvard Square. He had a rally there, and I work in Cambridge. So I went, my husband met me there, and we went to see him, and it was great. But we couldn't meet him because there were so many people. So I figured the best way to probably meet him is to volunteer at one of the events. So I volunteered at the flight center. I was the merch person, the swag person. So I just kind of manned the table, giving out free books and all that stuff. So I met him then. And then after that, I started volunteering. So every Sunday I would canvas, sometimes Saturdays. I wasn't as hardcore as Jack. He was going like every other day, but I would go every Sunday. That's how I met Joyce, actually. And then I went to the when he filed his papers in Manchester to be on the ballot, and that's where I met Jack. And so I've just been kind of like, I really like giving out merch on Angel Swag, and then just for my family. And like I said, I get a little bit obsessed. So I did not get to meet Evelyn, but I did have a dream about them the other night. Evelyn and Andrew. It was all good.
Ooh.
It was clean.
It was really good. I think it was just.
It was PG
It
rated.
was after Bernie, dropped out, and so now we have Biden, and of course I'm like thinking, how can, well, we'll get to that later. So that's my Yang story.
Great. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Hi, Jack.
Hi. So I know everybody.
Yeah.
How about-
You do know everybody.
He's the captain of the boat.
How about I give a little bit of
Captain
snippet?
Jack.
The yam boat.
No.
Captain. It's like Captain Morgan's and Jack Daniels mixed
Yeah.
together, right?
No.
So Jack, I a lot of us know you, but we are live. We are on YouTube. Potentially on many other platforms. So just quickly, in the shorter version, tell us what's your story of being Yan.
Well,
Yang Gan.
my story is very similar to Milagros. I'm a person that maybe more on the periphery, but once I'm in, I am all in.
Yeah.
Head in first, and I had that week where it's like I was up middle of the night, 3-4 o'clock, watching everything I can find on Yang. And of course I ordered the book, from Amazon, and I couldn't put it down. It was a page turn; it just kept going. Yeah, I was, what's that called? Bait, hook, and sinker, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how I got hooked.
Yeah.
Watching Will put his sign in, and I walked by and I was like, "Who's Andrew Yang?" And he goes, "What would you do with $1,000 a month?" I'm like, I'm going home, look this guy up. And I was skeptical. Like Brandon knows my son-in-law,
Yeah.
right? John.
Wow.
So Brandon knows my daughter and my son-in-law. So when my son-in-law was over for the holidays, he's kind of like, he knows like some political, a little bit about politics. So I said, is that possible to do that? And he said, oh yeah, it's not a new idea. So then that's what, what you said, Milagros, I was all in with the videos. I'm like, well, if that's for real, I went in and started checking out all these videos about him. And I'm like, I love this guy, he's awesome. So I went to meet him New Year's Eve in Manchester. That's where I met Jack and Laura. And I think, Brandon, you probably were there, but I didn't know that you were Chrissy's and Jim's son. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Until I seen you, and I was like, you look just like the both of them put together.
So I wanted to add one thing is this is the third Yangon live chat I have hosted, and today is very special. Is because except me, these 5 people, they're all from New Hampshire.
Oh, I saw it.
Right?
We're all from New Hampshire.
Right? You're New Hampshire.
Mhm.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. I didn't even realize how important we were until I got into that. I never got involved into politics.
You're VIP, So Jack, you didn't finish yet. So tell us a little bit about your involvement.
Well, I look at it, and again, I thought I was crazy. I was looking for people to tell me I'm crazy, and it was hard to find.
You're crazy in a good
It
way.
wasn't going to be me.
It wasn't
But I'm at that stage in life. I'm looking for opportunity to give back, and this is probably the most unbelievable way. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's a genius, but he's definitely bright and reads a lot, and he definitely connected the dots, and he is like Elon Musk wants to share it. He doesn't care about I came up with it first. He doesn't care. He's just looking out. The sincerity is so true. It just shines through. Unlike the first time I saw him at the debate, I said, "This guy's a joke." I'm not. I was like, but it didn't take long. Once I saw the first video, definitely Joe Rogan one, but it doesn't matter. You watch anyone, they just kind of take you in. That's why I thought campaigning. I mean, when we're canvassing, if we can somehow get them to watch a video, it's like Star Trek where they have that tractor beam, just sucks a ship in.
Yeah.
He just sucks you in. We just need to
vortex.
get them to watch for 10 minutes. You guys believe that? If I feel like I only had 10 seconds or 5 seconds with this one person, I literally, because I would wear that shirt, YouTube. I said, YouTube Yang, Andrew Yang, and I hope I had some effect. I had no idea. I never canvassed before. I never was politically involved in any way.
Me neither.
Many ways, I'm like the story, very similar to the way first few pages he described his childhood growing up. I mean, being Asian, growing up in the 70s when the Vietnam War was happening, you're gonna get beat up. But then you realize there are just as many people that love this country and are willing to give you time of day, whether it's teaching me English or stuff like that. This is my chance to give back. And I was looking for any way possible. Sure, quite honestly, I can't say that I put a full-time work for the people that were paying me, but they understood. They knew I was involved. I mean, they see it in my Facebook, and I wear Yang stuff to work. I don't care. I want to influence many people as possible, and people like Milagro was right there initially when I first got involved, and she didn't tell me I was crazy. She said, "You're doing everything right." So I was like, "Yeah, I gotta keep doing it." And she's definitely very inspirational, and going canvassing. When you go
I love canvassing with her.
Oh,
yeah.
Milagro is amazing, and Lemay, he's probably. I wish.
This one I missed it actually.
Yeah, she never
Jack?
told you guys.
You're one of the most generous people. I don't know what I would have got, how I would have get by without you.
No, it
Dude,
goes both ways. I tell you.
don't even. I'm gonna get choked up if I even.
No, don't go there. But Lemay, I wish every what do you call it? The offices that your position.
I was a regional or a rod, regional
A rod,
organizing
right?
director.
You're definitely. I wish every rod was as cool and chill as you are.
Well, thank you. Me too.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Jack. Though. No.
You
so,
are cool, Brandon.
Yeah. So I've worked on a few campaigns, and I wish that every campaign I worked on had somebody like you there. Because it really is. It's a symbiotic relationship between campaign staff and the supporters. You know, a good campaign staff makes it easier for the supporters. Good supporters makes it easier for the campaign staff. And I feel like at least you and I, you know, I feel like we had a good repertoire, and we were able to build each other up a lot. So that was really good to have. So I really enjoyed that. It was probably the most fun I've ever had working on a campaign. I've had definitely the most fun I've had on a campaign. And I've had some of the best interactions with supporters on this campaign, just because of how invested everyone is. I mean, everyone in this group and everyone I interfaced with that was a supporter, I mean, they were all in. I mean, before this, I was dealing with establishment Democrats who I had to basically drag out to go and knock doors, be like, come on, please, you have to do this or the Republicans are going to win. But then with Andrew Yang, it was everyone was basically just bursting through the door saying, all right, I want to talk to some voters. What do I do? So that was amazing to have.
You know what was great is when you had all those high school kids in that office.
Oh, that was wonderful. I mean, that's
I can't even tell you.
I mean, those people are going to be activists going forward. I actually have a lot of hope for the Generation Z folks, or the Zoomers, as I call them. Because, I mean, really, this is what the point of any sort of grassroots organizing, which is exactly what we did. This is the most grassroots organization I've ever had the chance to work with. And the main point is not even necessarily to get your candidate elected, but to build the infrastructure for the future. It's great if your candidate gets elected, but if your candidate gets elected on just pure momentum, all right, that's okay. But we have the infrastructure, we have the relationships, and the connections, so that if or when Yang runs again, it's going to be a lot easier than when he was just starting from nothing this time around. And those high schooler kids that came through the door, I mean, they're probably going to be college kids who are going to be knocking doors, making phone calls for Andrew, or text banking. So that was really satisfying and fulfilling to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's things like that, Brandon. When you, Lemay, when you tell me that stuff, it's like, whoa! I never took politics 101. There's so much stuff I don't know.
There's so much I don't know still.
Right. Oh, and Ed is probably like, you know, reminds me of that TV series, The Young and the Restless. If you ever see him at a rally, he is like, he'll be jumping up and down. He can get everybody excited.
There's definitely rally mode, and sometimes it's hard to turn that off.
Oh, when we were at St. A's, when you were going up and down, oh yeah, he got me going at St. A's. I was wrapping that sign. The next day, my shoulder was killing me. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, we were like penguins out there trying to.
Jack goes by with a box of pizza. I'm like, yeah. That was fun.
Did you see the video I made called "Who is Jack"?
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
There's a lot of
Who is Jack?
Guess what I'm having tonight?
Yeah.
What?
American goulash.
Oh, goulash. That was funny. Hey, guy, you chop like a pro, man. You're like.
I know.
Yeah. That the video you and your son made, it was really awesome.
That was cool.
That's funny.
The motorcycle and the cooking.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you. I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I think some of you know already. Well, I live in Manhattan, New York City, and I didn't really know NGN at all in April. And my friend introduced to me Cao Di. Cao Di, you met Jack, right? She came to canvas Jack.
Yes.
The girl from Boston. Yeah.
Is this the one that makes violin?
Yes, the violin maker.
Are you somebody that makes violin? Say, there's so many things I've learned in this campaign.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she and I, we went to conservatory. I'm a musician too. I play the viola. So she's a violin maker, and we hang out. So she told me about NGN sometimes in last spring, and then she said she's coming to the rally in May 14th in Washington Square. So I went to that rally for the first time. I saw NGN, and then I started to make videos, films, documenting many events. At the beginning, is all people asked me to go. You know, there's Young Gun in New York City and in Queens. They asked me to go to capture their activities, and I went just you know, because I am a good person. You know, I went. But then after a while, they don't have to call me anymore. It's like every weekend I always look up things, go on to you know, NYC Young Gun Facebook. They always have activities, you know. So I made, like, you know, I don't know, 110 films, short films about NGN. So anyway, that's my story. I just keep capturing, and then so my next really a major undertaking is to watch everything I did. I also went with Nick Rivera. He's listening to us right now. He cannot come in because this setting only 6 people can be in here. So but he's listening to us. He says hello to everybody.
Hi, Nick.
He
Nick.
even
Well,
said.
Well, I feel honored if I made the cut and Nick didn't. So.
Yeah. but Nick is not a New Hampshire, so but I told him if somebody didn't come, and then, you know, maybe you can join us. So he's so sweet. He even said that he texted us, says milagro means miracle in Spanish.
Oh,
It does. And it's more than one. It's
Yeah.
multiple miracles.
Multiple miracles.
Ooh.
Yay!
Ooh.
Should have a twin. Anyway, so I went to Iowa before I came to New Hampshire. I went to Iowa for 2 weeks, and then after that I came to New Hampshire, and I called. I contacted Clark first, and then Clark introduced me to Brendan. Then I texted Brendan, says, you know, I'm coming now, you know, I'm driving now, you know, and then, can you give me a place? And then so I got to your office at 8:30 p.m. That was like what? January 24th, Chinese New Year's Eve. Jack.
Yep.
So and then there was nobody there. So, and then I hook up Brendan again. Brendan said, okay, let me find you a place. I cannot promise. Okay. So I waited for, 15 minutes. He said, okay, this is the place you're going now. So I drove to Jack's house. Oh my God. And then I realized I already met Jack on January 1st in Nashua, because I went to Nashua to cover NGN's, townhouse. Anyway, over there at Jack's house, then I met Brendan. Brendan came for the party. Apparently, it's a party house, full of young gun. And then
I was only there once. And
oh yeah, oh, you missed it. And then I think I met Ed the next day. Did I meet you that
I was
day?
there for Chinese New Year.
New Year the next day. Yeah, 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a Chinese New Year.
I saw that in your video.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I saw that.
So
in your
anyway,
video.
yeah, that's my and then, then I spent 3 weeks with Jack and Laura, and rest of the young gang.
And the airport was pretty fun too. That was great. Getting up at 1:30 in the morning.
That was crazy. We went to welcome Andrew Yan.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. It was
February
cold, but fun.
3rd, right? 3rd, yeah.
I think
Right?
so. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I got up early.
We already went. See, Ed, do you remember we went to bed? Like not you and me, huh? We
Yeah.
It's PG rated, I thought.
bunch of us went to bed like 2 a.m. You know, we would all stay. We were so excited. We tried to wait for the result. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Iowa
Yeah, we
result.
watched TV and stuff.
We
And
were
then
just
we-
up waiting and then we
then-
couldn't really sleep.
And
You
then
were
3:30, like Jack just knock on the door, you know. Time to go. Time to go. So we all hop on Jack's car. Van. Oh my god. And I made a short video about that. It was so much fun.
I've never been to that part of the airport. I never knew special people come in these.
I would
Some
never have
airport.
drive
Yeah.
to the airport. Never in
Yeah.
a million years would
Great.
I have
Yeah.
even driven
Yeah.
to the airport.
And Ed was so funny. He made all kinds of weird comments and funny, very funny. He
Yes.
said, you want to know inside news? Who won? Because we still don't know who won Iowa. And Ed said,
Oh, that's right, because they
Bush.
were so.
Jack,
Oh.
what's his name?
What's that?
Jeb Bush.
Jeb-
Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush.
Jeb.
Oh, man.
Jeb.
Jeb,
Told them Jeb Bush won all of
I
Iowa.
know. We got to the airport. We had to switch locations,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Remember?
Brandon's like, just jump in the car with someone. Just run out there and get in the car with someone.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
that was fun.
Somebody
That was
take
fun.
me in your car. I'm volunteering.
Joyce,
Yeah.
is it possible for you to put your phone this way, like horizontal?
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you gotta go
Up
landscape.
over there.
Yeah.
Oh, so much
Yeah.
better.
How is that?
So much better.
Is that better?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great.
Just so you
Oh, wait a
guys
minute.
know, in the back it's all Elvis Presley stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, Jack's seen it.
Oh my
Jack's
God.
seen my collection.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
Oh, look at rid of. Oh, I can't move my head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
I'm a bit of a fan.
Do you want to play us something, Joyce?
Ooh.
You want to go get your fiddle?
Ooh.
Ah!
Wait, she played bass,
Big
not the
fiddle.
fiddle.
I know. Big fiddle.
The fiddle? Did you say the fiddle?
Big fiddle.
Big
Huge
fiddle.
fiddle.
Like you have a bass,
Yeah,
bass-
it's
Yeah.
like
a standing bass. That's so.
Yeah.
No, no, electric bass.
it's a yeah. I
You
played
wanna
you a
play us
little.
something.
I played a little. What did I do when you came over, Jack? Was it the? Don't know.
You already played
Um,
for him. It's
oh,
such a
okay.
treatment.
I played a few notes of Down on the Corner from
Oh,
CCR.
Do
Yeah.
you want to play us something now?
Yes, she does.
I mean, I could play a few notes.
yeah,
Notes?
she's awesome.
Okay.
Wait, let's
we'll
see.
listen.
I don't know.
We'll
It's
listen.
hard. All right, let's see.
We'll listen
Hey,
to a few notes.
I had $1,000.
Oh,
We
she's
need a
coming.
we need a
Hang on.
music interlude, you know, right?
There she is. Me, because I get that in my way now. Oh wait, I can take these off actually,
I
right?
envision a bass is like a really tall, right? Is it a string bass or is it
Oh, yeah, can you
electronic bass? Oh, electronic bass. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Some may refer to
Oh,
it as
wait.
the daddy guitar.
Daddy guitar.
Yes.
Grandpa guitar.
Really good. Can you hear it? I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Let's see how it sounds. I
Put
don't
it right
hear
next to the
anything.
mic.
I don't hear anything.
Wait. All right. I don't know if I can do. I'll try to do that down on the corner.
Oh.
That's a little bit of that one.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that's pretty
I feel like I'm right in the bayou right now. That definitely
Ba,
brings me
ba,
down.
ba, ba, ba. Yeah, like that. It's a little hard
Nice.
with the things in my ear, but
Yeah,
But,
yeah. It's like your microphone basically is behind your bass, right? Like where's your
yeah,
microphone?
yeah. Like my microphone's right here,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. So it's kind of.
but I do
gonna say-
like.
Nice.
I could recognize the bass line, so apparently it was good enough.
Oh well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Thank
I
you.
used to know that one good, but and then I did 21 Guns was one of my favorites. That one I learned from my son. That's the one I learned from my son. That one I won't do that one because I That one will make me sad. But
Oh yeah.
but that one done. All right.
So,
She's
so
heavy.
let's talk about let's talk about a little bit about currently what are we working on. Why don't we start with Ed? Ed, are you
Uh,
still actively running for this, running for that, and
yeah,
give us
just
a
Running
update?
for your life.
serving ser- serving my community on the school board, making sure that things in that sense continue operating. We're doing remote learning. Right now, it's scheduled to go to May 6th, but it's just looking like we're going to have to extend that through the end of the year. Multiple communities around us are ending the school year earlier as well. Also making sure that our students are getting fed, regardless of their status. A lot of students rely on the school system to be able to get fed. So just making sure that continues, and then just taking things day by day in my own life. Still unemployed. Still just doing renovations around the house, getting ready to put my duplex on the market for May. So yeah, just kind of taking things as they come, and yeah, that's about it. That's where I'm at right now.
Are you running Congress?
Still deciding what to do. Things in my own life need to be squared away. Haven't made any final decision for what to run for. It's really a matter of at the end of the day, where I feel like I can be most useful, and right now it feels like I need to focus on my own life and take care of things here at home before I'm able to step up and do anything further.
Yeah. So, what's cooking in your pot, Jack?
Well,
What do you keep working, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, people
I
lose job. You didn't lose job.
no. In fact, if anything, my job got busier because I
Yeah.
track all the state licensing. Literally, every state has governor has. So I'm trying to reinterpret each governor's orders to how to extend various licenses for doctors and nurses, and then there's other part of my company that's actually help test various viruses and drugs, like a clinical trial part of it. But I'm more of a database guy, so I've been really busy last 3 weeks. But other than that, my life hasn't really changed much. I mean, Brandon, Ed, you guys know, even you, Milagro, and you, Joyce, there are parts where further north you go, New Hampshire, you can't even find people.
Yeah.
But that's assuming it's like, for example, Joyce and I are on opposite spectrum. She lost her job even though she's a school nurse.
Yeah.
And we all know New Hampshire unemployment sucks. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not that good.
It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, it does. But
And,
it's better than nothing. But I'm homeschooling my friend's
Right.
daughter,
yeah, I'm glad that worked out.
so I actually like it. And it's weird because I was working for the school. I only subbed. I did school nursing, teaching, and para. And right before this happened, I was sitting there thinking I should just get a nursing job because I hate working for the schools. It drives me crazy. And now that I'm not doing it, I miss it. I miss the smell of the schools, cafeteria, all the things that drove me crazy. I miss. So luckily, I'm kind of toning in my teaching skills on one child, which is kind of nice because, I don't have to really do the whole class. So when we do go back, I'm going to have a little bit of experience, without the pressure of a whole classroom. So I mean, I do like it now. I miss it. So I'm like, Yeah, I'm gonna go back hopefully, but
So, which town do you live? Milagro.
Yeah,
Milagro.
so I feel like a bit of an imposter.
Miracle.
I'm not in New
No, you
Hampshire,
are in New
although I
Hampshire.
did volunteer there a lot. I'm
What
actually in Groton, Massachusetts.
you are?
Um, yeah,
Oh,
Get out of
uh,
this chat.
you're.
Get out of this chat.
What? No,
That's
but we
okay.
can't. She's our
Yeah,
miracle.
yeah,
yeah,
a
yeah.
miracle.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Jack. I'm one of the people who was fortunate enough to not lose my job. But I am working remotely and just busy as ever. I work in vaccines. So our company, I'm not in the part that's doing the plasma derived therapy, but there is work in my company to look at using plasma with the antibodies for uh, COVID patients who have survived, and using that to treat others. So fingers crossed that that works out. But the program that I work on is actually for a dengue vaccine. I'm in regulatory operations, so I'm not the sciencey people. Like I do a lot of like the logistics and systems and things like that. So it's been really busy. But Joyce, I didn't know that you had a teaching background. I was also supposed to teach. We wanted to go internationally, so I was certified to teach English.
Yeah.
Um, I
Doesn't
didn't
your
use that.
husband teach too?
Yeah, my husband is a teacher. He's in
Yeah,
social
I think I
studies
remember you
teacher.
saying that. Yeah.
So I love teaching classroom, like the classroom aspect of it. I
Mm.
hated all the other stuff, like
Mm.
not feeling like I could be myself out in public because there could be students or having to do all the corrections. You're like, I remember getting it back, and I'm like, well, why did I give them home?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
with for the first time, actually, I for the first time, I actually was on Twitter. I did it twice where I saw, I don't even remember exactly, but some people are really struggling and like just actually gave random strangers some money. It's really kind of weird. I mean, not a lot, but it's interesting. And then I told my husband, it's like, really, you gave random strangers? I'm just like, yeah, but they were like gang, so it's okay. so
Yeah.
so yeah, I just they're planning on, or I have not set up my recurring donation to Humanity Forward right now. I'm from the Philippines, and they have a complete shutdown in my hometown where nobody's working. They won't even let people out of the house. You can only have one person leave, and so all of the work has stopped. So my parents and I are sending like a monthly money monthly to help them with just getting rice. It's basically just to buy rice, and then they need to figure out the rest, I guess, for themselves. But yeah, so it's been really this situation has been really tough on a lot of people. I feel a little guilty that it hasn't like the way that it has others.
Okay.
But you continue to try to help out where we can.
Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
yeah.
My friend's
Yeah.
actually stuck in the Philippines right now. He's got some family out there and just asked his now fiance to marry him, and he's been trying to get a flight out, and
Yeah.
every chance it looks hopeful, and then it falls through. But yeah, similar story to what you're saying. It's like very limited travel. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the other countries are taking things more seriously than we have here in New Hampshire, or sorry, in the United States.
Yeah.
I have another friend who's in Panama, and you literally, males are allowed to go out certain days, females are allowed to go out other
Whoa.
days, and like certain
Oh.
times. It's pretty interesting. Yeah,
Wow.
If they
Wow.
separate them like that. That's
just
yeah.
like
Yeah.
now's your chance. You can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was being I get a
Yeah,
little
it's
dosage
really
of
interesting. The
watching
measures is big.
YouTube. Like, oh, uh, I get a little
Go
dosage
ahead,
of
Ching.
how people,
Sorry.
oh sorry, how people deal with their life in Wuhan, because there's a filmmaker. Can you hear me? There's a filmmaker in Wuhan. He basically does like a blog type of filming every
Hmm.
day for since very beginning of the crisis in China. So I would watch him not every single day I watch it, but very often. So he definitely paints a picture of how he's been quarantined, or when at the moment like he had a cough and he had some kind of a like signs of having a cold or something, then his family just lock him up in a small room and he cannot get out, and he still kept the filming. It's very interesting. So, and
Wow.
then just as a progress, then later on, finally he gets out, and then he cuts his wife cuts his hair. It's very interesting, the whole thing, but I cannot let you see it just because it's all in Chinese,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
but it just shows how strict they are in China about quarantine, about lockdown. Uh, New York, actually, I actually haven't gone to supermarket in like 3 weeks. How does that happen? I bought lots of stuff, and then my family goes. My son and my son. I have a 20-year-old son, and my husband. We have a supermarket literally downstairs where we live, literally like our building. So it's a very basic thing. It's nothing fancy. Very, but you can pretty much get everything you want. So I haven't gone to. So I just once in a while I just go crazy, I go stir crazy. So I would
Mm.
just go into my car. I'm pretty cautious. Some people get upset with me doing that. I go into my car, I just drive my car, and then I stop the car, I take pictures, and then I snuck it back into the car, and then I would drive to Times Square. I parked at Times Square, like there's parking now. There's no problem. You put $1 in, you can park for 20 minutes. So I would take some pictures of times. So I have been going to Times Square for three
Yeah.
times for the last like 3 weeks and taking pictures.
My
Kind of
friends love
this.
your pictures.
Oh,
The ones you
thank you.
take. I like
Thank
share
you.
your
Yeah, you can see them
really
on
good.
my Facebook. It's a symbol. I feel, to me, Times Square is a symbol of
Yeah.
New York, and when Times Square is empty, it
Yeah.
says a lot, right? It
It's
says a
it's
lot.
that I was just gonna say that. That's just like hits home right there, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just goes to show you how serious it is when you see Times Square like nobody
Right,
there, you
right,
know?
right,
So
right.
Brandon, is that a Plymouth State University sweatshirt you're wearing?
Yeah, it is. It
What is it?
is.
Oh, Plymouth State.
PSU?
Yeah, but yeah, Plymouth State University. It's a small college, and some people will call it Northern New Hampshire. It's geographically the center of New Hampshire, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's where my son-in-law went and my daughter.
yeah. It's
I
actually yeah.
I have
That's
one
why.
question. I have one question for you,
What's that?
for you guys. Although I know answer for some people I already know. Starting from Brendan, when NGN calls suspension, where are you?
Sorry. So what was the question again?
When Andrew Yang suspended his campaign,
Oh, I
that
was about
moment, where were you?
10 feet away from him, looking at him. Uh,
Yeah.
and honestly, I kind of had a feeling
Did you know?
that. No, I didn't actually. Actually, a lot of times I found out my information through you guys. And
You're supposed to be the head of the
well,
office.
no, but I mean, organizationally though, I was pretty low on the totem pole. Because I mean, and my job was very kind of laser focused. I mean, I had a team of 3 to 4 people, depending on what time of the campaign it was. And my job was to keep them on track. And I was just so tunnel visioned. I mean, people would come into the office and be like, "Did you hear about what happened in Ohio with the petitions?" And I'm like, "Nope. I know that we knocked 1,000 doors so far this week, and
Yeah.
this, and this. But no, but I just kind of had a feeling, there were just kind of murmurs that, like, if you didn't have a strong showing in New Hampshire, then it was going to be the end of it. I just didn't know it was going to be determined so quickly into the night. We really didn't have a lot of results in New Hampshire yet, but I'm guessing they just kind of looked at the data that we had, and they just weren't feeling good about it. And I respect Andrew's rationale behind it. It's an irresponsible use of the donor's money and the volunteer's time, which is something that organizationally we tried to, embody. We wanted to respect everybody's time and money. Time is obviously probably the most precious resource that people have. And, we want to be good stewards of that. So, I thought it was a good decision to do it when he did. But yeah, I remember. But I think what I remember most from that night was everyone was sad, of course. But there were a lot of people that were like, well, you know what? I'm going to run for my local town Democrat chair. Or they're like, oh, I'm going to go run for selectman. Like, I was never involved in politics before this, and now I'm so invested, and now I have no outlet. I have all this energy and no outlet for it. What am I going to do next? And those are some of my favorite conversations to have with people. And I feel like it's led to some good things, and I think it will continue to.
What about you?
Me?
Miracle.
My goodness.
Yeah, so I was actually really bummed that I couldn't be in New Hampshire for the last push. Jack knows we had both rented out some, what they call us, condos. So in New Hampshire for the people who were coming to canvas, and I was really sad that I couldn't be there. I was actually speaking at a conference in Bethesda, so near Washington, D.C. And it was the night before I was supposed to speak. So I spoke on Wednesday. And we were, some colleagues and I and some friends at this bar, just kind of, hanging out. And we were having a good time. And my mentor, my old boss, who was speaking with me, like just kind of, his phone buzzed and his face, like his eyes, like kind of popped out. And he looked at me and he said, Andrew Yang just dropped, like suspended his campaign. I was like, what? And he showed me his phone. And I was just like, I didn't know, like, it was just like so overwhelming. And I was sad, and there were all these happy people around me. And I just kind of looked at everybody, and I'm just like, I really have to go now. So, and I remember like going, and they were like, no, you should stay. And, why don't we just go with you? I'm like, no, you guys stay. I really have to go, because I felt like I was just gonna like start crying right there and then.
Or did go.
So then I started to leave, and they all like they came with me, and I remember Joel, my old boss, telling me, he said, this is the problem with believing in something. It really hurts when it doesn't work out the way you want it to. And he's so right, and I think that I appreciate that Andrew was respectful of people's time, their resources. I did get money back, so that was a good thing. But I think I would have given, I was willing to give more. So I'm glad that he has Humanity Forward, and I'm glad that he's a voice in the country. And I am really sorry to say that he was right. Sometimes it's, when people are right, it doesn't feel good. You don't want to be right about millions of people losing their jobs. It's not, I don't think that that's something that he wanted to be right about. Unfortunately, he is. So I think that's what I really admired about him, is that he was trying to do the right thing. It wasn't about him and what it would get him in return. It was more trying to help people, and running for an office that he didn't want to begin with. Working with people who gave him literally no time.
By the
So
way, yeah. By the way, I have a question. You said something like you got your money back. What do you mean? Did they return the money? Did they
So
return the
I'm
money?
silly. Like I said, I get obsessive. I was in Wisconsin over Christmas, and there was that New Year's push for like $3 or $4 million or something. And I was going through Twitter, and I was matching people. Jack knows about this. It's so embarrassing. I was like, like people would be like, "Oh, I can only give $2." So I would be like, "Oh, no worries, I'll match you." So I was like matching all these people, and in the middle of the night, like I'm going through, I'm trying to match people, and I press some buttons, and I'm like, "Okay, it's not working." I do it again, and what ended up happening is I ended up pledging way over my legal limit. So one of the glitches ended up being $1,000, and the other one was like $5,600. And I was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And so I was like contacting the campaign to try to fix it. So they were going to apply the money to my husband's like contributions or whatever, and then they returned the rest. So that's what I meant, is that we pretty much both double maxed, and so when he suspended, they were refunding people's money for the general election because he's not
Yeah,
running.
I understand you can contribute 2,800, and
Mhm.
after that, they supposed to return. I did not get my return. I
You
Really?
haven't?
Yeah, no,
I got it
Oh.
I've
not
never
too
heard.
long ago, just about a
I
week
didn't
ago.
know.
You know, I
Oh
actually
no,
I
I
actually
didn't.
got a call from what's that woman that was with
Carly?
Steve Marchand a lot.
Oh no.
Um, that
Oh.
woman with the blonde
Christina
hair.
Snell.
Christina, right? Christina actually
Oh.
called me and say, "Hey Jack, you do know that you maxed out on the general,
Yeah,
and then they just refunded me through
they did.
ActBlue."
Oh, so
Yeah.
they forgot about me. Okay, I
And
should
they're
Wow.
contact them.
probably working through it because
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
remember people saying that they got their refunds way earlier. And I got like a paper check. It wasn't like through my credit card. So it came through the mail, and there was a nice letter
Oh,
and some bumper
Wow.
stickers.
oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So
Wow, that's
yeah,
so
nice.
I'm sure it's coming.
okay. So
I've never
Jack,
been I've
yeah.
never been so sad about receiving a $4,000
I
check in my entire life. It's like, I don't want this.
Oh,
Oh my
You
God.
know,
Yeah.
I guess
So
I'll take it. Send it.
yeah. So Jack, you and Ed and Brendan
but
and I, we are all in the same location, right? When Andrew Yang
yeah,
called.
yep. I was
Yeah.
Yeah, I
saying,
was
Where
at the
are you?
Puritan. I was at the
Oh,
Oh,
Puritan.
yeah, you were
Joyce,
there
you were
too.
there too.
I
you
was
were
a
there
Joyce
few.
too.
too.
You know, I had a couple of mudslides, thinking they were strong. They were so strong, and
Nice.
I thought we were gonna be celebrating.
That
So
sounds good right now.
that's what
Oh,
that gave me the courage to kind of weave up
Yeah, you were
right
there,
up to the
Joyce.
stage. Yeah.
Remember, you had a
So
big
my
drink in your hand. We
oh
even cheered
yeah,
to each
oh
other.
yeah, they were
So
huge.
okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, we five of us were there at
So
the
I wormed my
location.
way up right
Yeah,
up to the front, and
yeah,
I had like thing up there, and I got it on recorder when he was dropping
yeah,
out, and then all that.
yeah,
So I got
yeah,
one. I was right there. I gave a hug to Evelyn.
oh,
yeah.
that's
Bye,
great.
bye, Evelyn.
I was not concentrating.
And then
I
I
was not
cried all the way home.
I was not
Oh,
100% there, meaning when I'm filming, I was live streaming. I was
Yeah.
live streaming to the event to
Yeah.
I believe either Facebook or YouTube.
I
And
have
then
pictures of you with your phone.
yeah, so I was holding my phone and try to always make sure I do the right thing. So sometimes your ear is not listening carefully. So I was like in the dream when he said
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it has to stop now.
Like, yeah. I
Oh,
was just
John.
like a big,
John, your music's really loud.
kind of numb. Good thing I didn't
So-
drive home.
Yeah, and here, and then so
So-
anyway, yeah, I was I wouldn't say, I don't know, I was numb. I was numb.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I think. It was like,
and then I was pretty clear-headed. I kept interviewing people. So
Yeah.
Jack said something to me, to my camera. Ed was really sad. I don't think Ed said much.
Ed, you look nice. I thought you looked nice that night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it all
you
hit
had
me.
your suit.
There
Hey, you
was
clean
there
up good.
was
Hey, your
there was
suit
a
on.
lot of emotions that
Yeah.
I hadn't taken the time to feel while working on the campaign. Like Brandon mentioned, working, long hours, long days. And then near the end of it, I was traveling. Some of you know that my relationship of 4 years ended at around the same time. So there was just a lot of emotions that I hadn't taken the time to feel. And then I was waiting, listening to him. I got a text before he actually said it from a friend, and then looked back at some other staffers, and I was like, oh shit. And then I walked out of the room, and it hit me. It hit me like a sack of bricks, and just that I put so much on the line, and gave it my all. And we fought for so many people. We pushed forward some issues, and it's great to see now that we are giving Americans checks. My few friends of mine have said that they already have their stimulus checks pending in their banks. So check that if you need, if you're some of us that are waiting on some money to come through. Yeah, no, it was a surreal moment, but like Brandon said, we just from being inside, we kind of knew at that point that we weren't gonna make it. It wasn't gonna go that far. Yeah, and Brandon just commented that some people didn't get their severance pay that they were promised, and so I was working to organize with the staffers to unionize, to make sure that everyone did get severance pay, that everyone felt like that they would be fine regardless of the outcome. So it was tough. It was a lot, but here we are now. Just I don't think we would have expected that after that ended, this would start. I
know you would have wondered like what it would have happened if he had stuck it out a little bit, because I know a lot of like my family and friends kind of laughed at the whole UBI thing. Every time I was like, they talk about it, and I would get a lot of like and I'm like, oh, look at y'all taking checks though now. That was my candidate's idea, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
last week Nadaya was raised the issue when we had our chat. Nadaya is my friend who's a journalist. Remember, Jack? He came to your house.
Yes,
he interviewed me. So he was not happy last week. He wrote on our chat, says what's good about Humanity Forward? He did not get his check. He didn't get his. But guess what? Today he said he got it.
Wow,
he got his check. I didn't ask how much.
So I actually had a question about, I think with all this free time, I'd have more time to look this up, but apparently not. So with the stimulus, the $1,200 that everyone's getting, from my understanding, it's not really a proper UBI. It's basically an advance on your tax return.
I thought they said it was free money.
Year. No, I was in the impression that it's your money. You're just getting it earlier.
No, I think it's.
I thought it was. I thought someone said it was free money.
It's based off of and it's technically means tested too. Oh, that's my dog.
Looks like my dog.
No, big dog person. But and big UBI person. But so from what I understand, and hopefully I'm wrong on this, but from what I understand is this is money that, and I'm sure Congress could wave a wand and pass some laws and not have this, but at least it was discussed at some point that you're paying this money back. Like you're not getting this money. It's your money, and basically you're just getting in advance on the taxes that you're going to be paying later.
Huh.
So that,
That's how
yeah, so that,
Yeah.
how I interpreted it when I read the stuff on it. I mean, it is tied to income, but I
Yeah.
don't think that you have to pay it back. So
No.
you know, depending on how much you make as a like individually or as a couple, then it starts to decrease,
Mhm.
or you're
Yeah.
not eligible at all. But I didn't read anything about having to pay it back.
No.
okay,
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't-
so, yeah, I just remember, well, at the time, I remember quite a few proposals were going on. I think Sanders was even proposing like $2,000 a month or something.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of other ones there. But yeah, so from, I don't know, again, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm pessimistic. And also, and actually, Andrew tweeted either today or is it yesterday? The days are blending together when I'm unemployed. But he said that basically a lot of Americans need this $1,200. They
Yeah.
haven't gotten it yet. They already
Right.
need a second one. And
There, I know he was
there's no
saying
plan.
that
There's
they're in the
no-
second one in the works, but
Yeah, there's absolutely no plan for that right there. So yeah, and I forget who echoed this or who said this, but I just wanted to echo is the fact that like, you know, we don't feel good about the fact that everyone realizes that we need a UBI, and now we're getting at least some form of it.
Yeah.
So, and I think one thing that, you know, gives me a little bit of kind of closure in this campaign was, you know, we fought for a candidate, but we also fought for a set of ideals. And while the candidate didn't win, our ideas and our ideal are still persisting. So I think that's one thing that gives me hope and, you know, keeps me marching forward. And I think that, you know, Americans will like this trickle up kind of economics as
Yeah.
opposed to, you know, the trickle down of years past. And actually, if I can just get on my soapbox here for a second here, we've had 10 years of probably the greatest expansion in the economy ever. And part of this has been via stock buybacks. So instead of like a company like Delta, which is struggling right now, instead of investing in their employees, paying them more money, or maybe designing or, you know, buying airplanes that don't follow the sky. Oh, sorry, it's Boeing. But they bought back their stocks, which artificially inflated the price of their stocks, and they depleted their cash reserves. So what happens when you spend all your cash on your own stock? Your stock tanks because the economy is going into a recession, and now we have to bail these people out, even though they've had record profits for the past 10 years. You know, it's just, it absolutely blows my mind. And it just kind of feels like, you know, we're fighting tooth and nail here for a UBI for the American people, and yet we're just willing to bail out these corporations who practiced, you know, fiscal policy that wasn't sound, but no one questioned it. So it just seems like every 10 years we're just going to have some sort of irresponsible financial practice that we're going to have to bail out corporate America, and then who's suffering the most? I mean, it's people like Joyce, it's, you know, people like Ed, and, you know, the folks that are out of work right now. I mean, the amount of jobless claims they have is absolutely crazy, and it kind of enrages me that like these companies are just too big to fail. And then we just kind of pass like a quasi UBI that's mean tested on the American people, and we're willing to fork over billions of dollars for these corporations. You know, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know, and these people now too, they're not even paying proper taxes anymore with the tax plan. So we cut their taxes, our wages don't go up, and then the economy goes down, and now they need a bailout. Like
it's because it's still the trickle down.
Oh,
I mean-
yeah.
I tried to explain. I would try to explain, like, if I get in like little arguments on Facebook, because I never even realized what the trickle up effect meant until I read his book, and so then I would start arguing with these, you know, people, like, you know, I don't know, you know, guys know what I mean when you go up a little bit north in New Hampshire, it's kind of hillbilly-ish, a little bit redneck, you know, they're all a lot of Trumpsters up there.
Well, actually, I want to admit, we technically did use jargon. So I don't know if I don't want to explain down to anybody, but I also don't want to have someone have a concept go over their head. So
right.
So like just to recap, so trickle up, trickle down is give tax cuts to the rich, and then they will spend all their money, and then we will get the crumbs of that. But in reality, they just buy stocks, or they put it away, or hide their tax liabilities. Whereas Andrew Yang talks about trickle up, give a check to the American people. When I studied economics at Plymouth State, actually, well, I studied political science, but I took an economics course. The average American, and I think this is probably still the same, spends about 98% of their income. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty right to me. I know a lot of people that don't really save much. They put away maybe 2%, if even. So if I give you $1,000, wait, what's the math on that? Sorry, I was a social science guy. So that's like $980 right there. That would go right back into the economy.
Right.
I haven't seen the numbers for trickle down, but that is instantly going to help everyone else. So I kind of like the idea, and that's what really appealed to me. What really kind of attracted me to Andrew Yang was he was talking about the idea of the trickle up, which is not really a kind of slogan that I heard anybody use with any sort of serious.
I had never heard it either.
Tones. Yeah. So sorry, I didn't want to try to kind of re-explain the wheel here, but like I also didn't want to leave anybody out that didn't quite know it, because I know a lot of Andrew Yang supporters are very new to the political process, and I don't want to exclude them by using jargon without explaining it.
Yeah.
So
I tried to, because I had a couple people that were almost interested in it that supported Trump, and then someone's like, well, how would that work? And I'd start getting on and explaining it, and then someone would say, oh, that wouldn't work because like Amazon would just move all their warehouses to. I go, no, why would they do that? Because America's one of the few countries that don't have a value added tax, and so why? And they offer 2-day free shipping. You really think they're gonna ship all their warehouses to other countries? I mean, they end up with more revenue. So if they had to pay a little bit in taxes, so what if they're getting more revenue because more people have more money to spend on Amazon products? So you see, that's the whole going up.
Well, yeah, and that's why Amazon. Well, why Amazon got on board for the Fight for 15 and paid all their employees $15 an hour. Which also I want to thank Senator Sanders for helping to push as well, is because Amazon kind of realized that this game that corporate America has been playing, where you want to pay your employees as little as possible, and Amazon realizes when everybody pays their employees as little as possible, like you just said, Joyce, that was a great point. We don't have as much money to spend on Amazon. We don't have as much money to go to.
That's where I would spend it. Yeah. I like the money.
Yeah.
So they get more. So what?
I would see this statistic. If we had a universal basic income of $1,000 a month, how much on average would that $1,000 go towards Amazon every single month?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I'm sure Jeff Bezos wouldn't like the fact that we're taxing him more, but hey, we'll get more.
So what if they had to pay into taxes? So what if they had to pay into taxes if they're getting more revenue from more people spending, which is exactly what the trickle up effect means. Everybody benefits, even Amazon. So
yeah, exactly.
So may I ask a question? How is Andrew Yang's the new organization, the Humanity Forward? Like, how exactly like he gave people money? You apply for it? It's like a grant.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are sharing their stories on Twitter or privately or through the website, and just letting them know what their situation is, and they're sending them money. So it sounds like I've seen like on Twitter people and on Facebook people getting money from them. Like it's basically micro loans, or not loans, sorry, micro grants. Like $250, $500. It's a lot of money for people who don't have anything. Frankly, what I'm a little bit worried about is that this check, the stimulus check that's supposed to be happening, hasn't. Number one, there's 16 point some million people now who have applied for unemployment, and probably millions of others who couldn't get through the system because it's so bogged down. At one point or another, and I know everybody's sheltering in place or trying to, the type of civil unrest that can come from this type of situation where people do not have jobs, they have nothing to lose, their family is sick, people are panic buying, and even if they have money, they can't get the goods that they need. It is a recipe for disaster. And I say this with like knowing that where I am, like I don't really feel any of this because I haven't been out. I have an underlying like respiratory issue. So my husband is the only one who's been out in our family. So we're out in the country. We're in our house. I'm comfortable. I'm basically working from home. It feels like there's not really a lot of change, and we're completely in a bubble from this. But in the cities and in the hardest hit areas and in the places where people are most vulnerable, people are going to start getting restless, and they're going to have nothing to lose. And I don't think I don't think our government really understands the significance of that. I come from the Philippines, where there's people movements and all this other stuff. You see those things, and I'm just really worried. I don't think that America really has an understanding of how bad this could be. You see riots when there's civil unrest, all that stuff that can be everywhere. And they're not. I mean, why they're not even in Washington? It's appalling. It's appalling that they're taking a break. Like, what is that? I mean, you're supposed to be taking care of the American people and trying to solve our problems, or
Right.
try to be part of the solutions, or at least listen to people who have ideas. And you're just out to lunch because you are in corporate pockets, or you're the millionaires and billionaires yourselves. So I just don't. It really upsets me that people are not taking this more seriously.
Right.
I mean, entire
They
communities are
can't see it.
devastated. This is really like, even like that Amazon, and it's so convenient. Yes, I order stuff from Amazon all the
I know.
time.
Me too.
But all of those struggling malls, they're done.
Right.
Who's gonna? There's no foot traffic. Who's gonna go back to the malls? When they can order stuff on Amazon, or there's nothing there, or you have this risk. You put yourself at risk by going out and going to the malls. And I don't think I don't think I don't think the amount of people are realizing how significant this change is going to be. It's like the U.S. will not be the same. The people who have needed the help most are not getting it. It just really irritates me, like, because I remember my sister once, one of my goddaughter, so in Wisconsin, and she decided to not go to college. She wanted to work, and she worked at Alliance factory where she was making washing machines. And I remember how disappointed my entire family was. She's half Filipino, half white, and the whole Filipino side is expecting her to go to college because that's what you do, you know. But I was just like, I'm not so much disappointed in her choice of what she wants to do. I'm disappointed that she's going to miss out on the experiences, because I think that college allows you to make decisions and grow in like very compressed timeline that you would have to take like a decade to understand yourself better outside of that really, really compact space. But I am so grateful that there are people who are making washing machines and they're picking up garbage, because God knows I don't want to do those jobs. I don't understand why people look down on the ones who are really doing the toughest jobs, and then punishing them for it. It doesn't make sense. I sorry, I'm getting all worked up. I mean, my husband and I have discussions about this all the time.
Okay.
How can you possibly expect people to be productive contributors to our society if they're always in survival mode?
Right.
Well
You
said.
can't.
Well said.
You
Jack,
can't.
you want
When
to say
I
something?
hear people,
You want to add something?
Yeah.
I think Jack wants to add.
Yeah.
So
to your point.
Milagro, you're absolutely right. This is what I've been thinking a lot about, and actually listen to various podcasts. It's like the second and third order effect. And then, just like you, my son is at home, even though he lives on campus. He's at home taking online classes. Even he knows right off the bat, he's being gypped. He's paying exorbitant amount of money to some in these secondary and third order effects. We gotta take a little time and to ponder on that a little bit. I'm not going to be the first one to jump on a plane. I've seen the video how well they clean the planes, but I don't know,
Yeah.
you know. And I haven't gone to the mall really. Like, if I would have a big deal, I'd probably just sit out in the mall parking lot when my wife shops. But you know, there are what I will call weak links that's going to be severed very quickly because of this. This accelerates everything. So, like what Andrew Yang talks about in terms of AI, you know, you just think of what's like in the boardroom of these places. Oh, how far are we along that? You know, machine that flips the burger and gets it right out to the car. You know, can we have drones that do that? They're just gonna say, let's just sink the money in now. If they have the deep pockets. I mean, so what Andrew Yang was trying to do, and Brandon, that was a good summary, by the way. And, you know,
Can I say something here?
sure.
Sorry. I wanted to thank Nick has been with us all this time. He's made lots
Hi,
of
Nick.
comments.
Hi, Nick.
Say hi to Nick for us.
Hi.
He made some comments. He said something like, "Oh, New Hampshire Young Gun All Stars,
Aw.
sending love from Connecticut."
Oh, there it is.
Hi everyone. Can you see his comment?
Now I see it. I didn't realize it.
Oh, a live
It
comment.
says
Oh.
the case for Andrew Yan in less than 10 minutes is an excellent video. I agree with Jack. You can see it, right?
Now I
Now I
see it.
can see it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I
And
think
then
if I
don't
hit
have to-
that chat button, I could see
okay,
it.
so I
but
don't have to read to you. Yeah. So
I'm
just
too
want you
afraid to
guys to
touch
know.
anything right now.
yeah,
so,
yeah, I know.
if I
Um,
lose you, just let-
Yeah, I just want to let you know that he's with us, you know, and I appreciate that, you know. So, now we're about to like I think maybe we'll do 5-10 minutes more. Does anyone want to do anything musically? Brendan, you want to play us a tune, and Ed, you want to sing us a
come
song?
on. Oh, Brandon,
Uh,
don't have.
I was gonna say I'd love to, but all my stuff is put away right now, so I'd have to go and actually
Oh,
unzip
okay.
it. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't want I don't want the dog and the cat chewing on the
I
instrument.
tell you,
Yeah.
that
Does
my
Ed-
little 8-year-old
Ed-
neighbor has been singing Joyce and Andrew Yang sitting in a tree, KISSING. Okay, she sings that to me like all the time.
I thought,
I'm like,
Joyce, I thought you were gonna say Evelyn.
He's married, but
That's
Chris
funny.
Como's married too, and I still adore that guy too. So.
I think Ed is ready. Ed, you wanted to sing us a song? You have such a great voice.
Ed's
Come on, Ed.
amazing.
Ed, can you hear
No,
us?
no, I
No?
just
Ed,
my little ukulele. It's not really.
Oh,
tuned.
he's good to ukulele.
Oh, cute.
Hold on, it's not really tuned well. Let's
No?
see.
Oh,
That's the best I got. And I got.
Oh. That's funny. Yeah.
Ed, sing it.
Oh,
That's the
know,
best I got.
I
Jack,
know this is
Jack
got a
had a
good voice.
request.
Yeah.
Jack had a request. If I had $1,000,
$1,000. Yeah.
if I had $1,000, then I'd buy me a cat because I really want a cat. If I had $1,000, if I had $1,000.
oh my God.
You use
Oh,
great
look at-
song.
I'll go get a cat.
Oh, he's a dog. There's a dog.
yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't want to kill the fun. I'm really fun at parties, by the way. I did want to clarify.
I feel like
so
your
I
parents. You must be.
Oh yeah, I know. I did look it up. So you do not. I don't want to spread fake news here. You do not have to pay back the stimulus check. I guess I was overthinking it. So it counts as a tax credit, but you don't actually have to pay it back. It's just some trickery. Oh, your cat's adorable.
Look at that.
I
My
love it.
cat's like, Gemma. She's like laying
Yeah,
around.
but Brandon,
Continue.
I do believe that some states, if the weekly unemployment check, let's say it's $350, it can't exceed the weekly unemployment check of that state. Is that what they were trying to? Remember those
So-
4 Republican senators on the floor?
I looked that up, and it's supposed to be independent of your unemployment benefits.
Oh,
So yeah. So if or when we get this $1,200 check, unemployment can't just look at you and go like, oh, well, that's $1,200. We don't have to pay you. No, you will get unemployment on top of the stimulus check there. I guess it just counts as a tax credit, so that's what I misunderstood. Because it was the easiest way to make it
different.
like, yeah, it was the easiest way to make it constitutional and avoid a bunch of other income taxes. So that's great too. So you don't have to pay any sort of income tax on the stimulus check either, which is good. So I'm happy about that.
It is a step closer to UBI. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I think we'll get a taste for it.
Well, they're paying attention. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people will realize like, oh, well, we spend a lot of money every single year doing things that I don't like, but if we give people money. Yeah. So and one thing that really concerns me too, your cat is adorable, Ching. I love it.
I have 2 cats.
So
there's my lazy cat.
They move a little bit.
Yeah.
The reason I come here is all of a sudden.
I wish I could do that to myself.
All of a sudden, I saw the window out. It was like so dynamic right now. It's like
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't
That's
know if
live
you
in
can
New
see.
York.
Can you see?
Oh, I love
I
that.
can see.
Yeah.
Don't drop anything out the window.
Yeah. Can you see
Holy
the
cow.
sky? And then you can see the street right now,
Wow.
Friday afternoon. There's a lot of cars, still a lot of cars, but not a whole lot of people, you know.
That's nice.
This
Seems
is
pretty busy.
Amsterdam Avenue. Amsterdam. And then if I turn this way, I put my laptop on my air conditioner right now. So you go that way. Sorry, I interrupted your conversation. Over there, you see there's a street, like the bus turning right. That is 125th Street.
Yes.
Yeah,
Traffic flow, pretty good.
that is. You go there a little further, a couple of. It's basically on the edge of the Harlem.
See it right there.
Harlem. Yes,
Yeah.
Apollo Theater is just like
Yeah, good
1 or 2
view.
blocks. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
missed
it's
it
not-
when I was down there. I
Oh,
didn't
I
have the chance
remember-
to check out Harlem.
I want to go.
Yeah. There's a lot of
You keep going, Joyce.
building right now. I don't know. Are they Columbia?
I know. I was just starting to price like bus tickets to New York, and then all of a sudden I was like, no, you can't go to New York.
Yeah.
I'm missing my
So-
trip. I'm gonna have to cancel my trip in May. I was gonna finally go to Graceland.
Look at the sky. Huh? The sky. I was just like, I saw the sky. I saw the I don't know.
Wow, look at
Seems
that
like
building.
very dramatic, you know. It's not. It's a little unusual kind of a look.
Oh, I see a sticker. Saw a sticker.
Oh yeah, sticker. My
Well,
I
I
saw
gotta
a thing that
hop
said-
off now, y'all.
And
It'll hop
Yeah.
off, Ed.
It was great chatting with you guys.
Yeah.
Everyone,
yeah.
Bye. We'll see you on
Everyone-
Facebook.
stay
See on
safe and
Facebook.
successful. And hope everyone's families stay safe and successful as well. And I guess we'll see everyone soon.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Bye,
Thank
Ed.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you
Bye,
so
Ed.
much for hanging out with us. Yeah, it's 5:30 now.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I
is already
guess,
5:30.
yeah, we had fun. I hesitate to play music for you just because the violin doesn't sound very good through this kind of, this
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yep.
right?
Not
'Cause
enough
a
bits.
speaker probably is
It's
on
hard
one
to
of them,
hear
right?
like with
You
the
know?
phones and play. I had a hard time.
Does
Yeah.
anyone know?
Or I just
Yeah.
think at it. I think.
I lost you. Hello? Can
Hello?
You hear
We're
me?
here.
I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Oh. Okay, I lost you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Yeah. So, do you know maybe if I play the violin, okay, it will not be sound very good because of this tiny speaker here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Such a distance. So actually, I ordered a blue Yeti.
Oh, you
It's
did?
Yes, I did.
Did you
So-
hook it up?
And it will arrive like
Mhm.
on the
Oh,
14th.
okay.
Yeah, next week. So when that
Wow.
happens, I'm gonna do sound check and hopefully. So it has to put a little bit further
Alright.
away, not this close. It's not
Mhm.
gonna be.
That would
sound
be
good.
cool.
Yeah. Well,
check that out.
yeah. Thank you so much, guys, and it's great to see you all.
Yes.
And
Thank you for
Yeah, it's
having
good to
me.
see you.
yeah,
It's good to
you.
see you,
Yeah.
Melu.
yeah.
Bye, Milagro.
Oh yeah,
Bye.
Milagro. I'm gonna have to look you up.
Bye,
Yeah.
Ruby.
Text me. Look me up.
And yeah, so
Ruby, you're a
Thank you so
gem.
much.
yeah, and hanging in there, and I hope this crisis will be over soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
because I'm
can-
coming to Jack's for a barbecue, he said.
Definitely,
Right?
definitely. I got the steaks
Yes.
out.
As soon as,
Barbecue.
as,
Be
soon,
ready.
as soon as we have to
We'll
stop social
social
distancing, we can do it.
distance. We'll social distance, yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
social distance properly, and then we'll have a barbecue, and then we'll flatten this curve.
that's right.
Flatten the curve. That's right. You got
Flatten the
it.
curve, then barbecue. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
sounds
great. So
All
great to
right.
see you, and you take care.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank
Nick,
you.
for listening.
Yes, Nick.
Bye.
Yeah.
good. Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
everybody.
Bye, Yang
Bye.
Yang.
Bye, Yang Gan. Keep
Bye, bye,
yanging.
Yang Yang.
Bye.
Keep yanging. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you, Joyce.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hey, we'll
Take
do this
care.
again.
Yes, we'll do it again. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for playing music.
You're welcome.